So I haven't seen too many videos of people talking about destination charges or the experience with it. So it happened a long time ago. We went on a Europe road trip with Amar's family, and during that trip, I got to experience the destination charger, the good and the bad about it. So let me explain a little bit what the destination charger is. So it's just a wall box, and Tesla, they spread these destination chargers all over the place. So Tesla pay for the wall box, and then the business or the company or whatever that they place it there, they pay for the installation and the electricity. That's what I assume they do. Okay, you have to correct me if I'm wrong. And also, these wall boxes or these destination chargers are for patrons only or customers only, and they are usually how fast they are is about 7 to 22 kilowatt AC. This is just AC charging, no DC charging. So in comparison, supercharging takes about 30 to 60 minutes, whereas the destination charger usually takes 3 to 10 hours, depending on how much you need and how fast that is. So obviously, this is not something you would like to use up when you are on a long road trip and you are in a rush. Yeah. So what are the pros and cons of destination chargers? Well, the hardware is pretty inexpensive because you use the onboard charger. This car has an onboard charger where you transform or convert the AC into DC that goes in the battery. So it's very light hardware, and it takes almost no space. You can just hang it on the wall. That's it. No digging and foundation or anything. And also, a good thing about these businesses is that it will encourage customers to stay there longer. Yeah. And also, with the cost of supercharger or whatever, you also have to pay for high power high power cables and whatever extra fee that comes with pulling a lot of power from the grid. Whereas with a destination charger, because it's low power compared to the supercharger, it's cheaper that way. And also another advantage is that you AC charge instead of DC fast charge. And at least for the newer battery packs, so if we exclude the 85 pack, the old 60 pack, and the old 40 pack, but those old packs, they don't have this. But at least the newer packs, if you fast charge too much, meaning you supercharge or you CHAdeMO charge too much, eventually the supercharging speed will be reduced. I experienced that with my old pack, and with the new one, it's nice and good now, but eventually I will also get it. So by AC charging as much as possible and avoid DC charging, it's better for the battery pack. But of course, the disadvantage with these destination chargers is that they are way too slow if you are in a hurry, or if you're waiting for it, then it's way too slow. And also, another thing is that I mentioned, the charger is in the car. That one is they call it destination charger, but it's a wall box. It's just electronics to communicate with the car's charger. But in the end, the car charger is the one that has to charge the battery, and if you don't have that upgraded charger, then you will only get 11 kilowatt. So it's slower that way. So you kind of you need some extra hardware to get the best speed. But if you have CHAdeMO adapter, or if you go for supercharger, then you get the best speed available anyway. And as I mentioned, another disadvantage is that this is only for patrons or customers. Yeah, but I will come back to that. Yeah. So let me give you a scenario how this will work out. So at home you might have a wall box. You can just slow charge at home, and you prefer to charge up to, let's say, 90% before you go on a road trip. So let's say you use up, and then you're gonna go on a road trip, and then you drive a while, and then you stop at a supercharger and you have lunch while the car is charging up. Okay, so far so good. And then you drive some more to your destination, whatever, let's say you do a sightseeing for 2 hours. Car is just standing still, doing nothing. And then in the evening, you visit another supercharger, and then you supercharge for, let's say, 30 minutes. And then you go to your hotel. And you should supercharge enough in the evening when the battery pack is nice and warm. If you try to do that in the morning, then you get slow speed. So that's why you are more or less forced to use up in the evening before you go to the hotel. So that's, of course, a disadvantage. So let me give you another example, another scenario. If you had slow chargers available, okay, same thing. You start at home with 90%, and then you supercharge on the way there while you're having lunch. But when you are sightseeing, that location has a destination charger. So while you are busy doing stuff, the car is slow charging on a destination charger, and that's fine. It won't, most likely it won't finish before you finish, so you don't have to worry about moving your car because it's finished. Because if you did this, if you park 2 hours on the supercharger, then some people will be pissed at you. But and then that means you can skip the supercharger and you can go straight to the hotel. And even better, if the hotel has a destination charger, then it doesn't matter. You just go there, plug it in, and then you wake up in the morning with 90% battery packing and 90% battery drain. So that's much better scenario. You waste less time on supercharger. You might also don't have to waste time taking a detour to the supercharger. So this is like much better situation. And if you look at this map here, this is from November 2017. It's around France, Switzerland, around there, and you see these red dots are current superchargers. You have some grayed out dots, that's upcoming supercharger. But you see that, okay, we have pretty good coverage of superchargers, but on the next map here you see destination chargers, and that's like a lot more. So the density of destination chargers is way higher than supercharger. And the whole idea with the whole idea with destination charger is that you spend time doing something else while you're not waiting for the charging. And of course, supercharging is also the same, but usually superchargers are located near places where you only do a quick stop. Let's say you have some lunch or whatever, and that's it. Whereas destination chargers are at hotels or maybe, I don't know, shopping malls, stuff like that. So it's better when you spend a lot of time. Ideally, you want to have a charging station where you spend time, where the car is sitting still doing nothing. So anyway, back to our road trip. We went on a road trip this summer with the whole family. So 5 people. No, wait, how many people were we? Lots of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 people in the car and a dog. Yeah, so almost 6. And as normal, we just supercharged on the way there. But in the evening, we arrived in Hamburg. So we just parked there. But in the morning, before we left, well, because we traveled with the whole family, it takes a while before we get going. So in the early morning, I moved the car and I noticed this this charging station. So I was like, okay, let's check it out. But it's not just plug and play. You have to download an app and do stuff and register a Visa card or something. So just out of curiosity, I did that. And I managed to start charging. So it was okay. It was 22 kilowatt AC. I only utilized 16.5, but it worked. But it's a little bit of hassle. And then later we arrived in Amsterdam, and I also wanted to test out the destination charger. So I looked in the map, and there was a destination charger near this Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. So I went to the hotel. It's I don't remember the name of the hotel, but anyway, that's not important. So I went to the hotel and I asked them, okay, I have a Tesla. Could I please use the destination charger? They said, well, are you a guest here? I said, no, I'm not a guest here. So but I would like to pay for parking and for electricity. We're just gonna stay nearby here for like a couple hours. And he said, well, it's for guests only. So I got the impression, they wanted to make these destination chargers available for guests. So I was like, okay, well, that's a bummer, but we're just gonna stay here for a couple of hours. And then yeah, so the hotel staff agreed that okay, if it's just for a couple of hours, then that's fine. Yeah. So I said, well, how much is the cost? He said, no, don't worry about it. I'm like, well, okay, good. So when we came down there were 2 destination chargers. So I plugged in one of them, and unfortunately, the other slot was occupied by a Porsche. So I don't know, that didn't seem right, because first the hotel staff gave me this impression that they were trying to make these chargers available for hotel guests, and then they allow freaking Porsche to just block it. I mean, in case two guests would arrive, two hotel guests who would stay there will arrive with two Teslas, in case I'm not here, you know, what are they gonna do? You know, they have to find the Porsche owner, or they have to park the other Tesla kind of in a weird position and try to plug in. So yeah. But anyway, enough about that case. By the way, yeah, so when I came back, I asked him, okay, thank you very much. I think I stayed there for like 1.5 hours or something. And then I wanted to give him money, and he said, no. I said, well, I just have this at Tipton. So, and then I asked him how much is enough, and he said, well, I don't know. He didn't say an amount, so I think I handed over like 10 or 15 euros. And then he said it was not enough. So I'm like, okay, well, here you go then. I have 15 or 20 euros. I don't care. I just wanted to test out the concept. And of course, I'm more than happy that I got free parking and some free juice. Well, not free, but juice while I was busy anyway. So later we arrived to this hotel called De Rustende Jager. We are still in Netherlands. Wait, where is it? I think it was Netherlands. Yeah. And I asked them, okay, you know, this hotel didn't have destination charger, but I asked them anyway if they have like charging possibilities for EVs, and he said yes, of course. So, you know, kudos to this hotel, the Jager. I'm very happy with the service, because they told me I can use the plug in the back of the hotel. So you see that we have two Schuckels and a red plug. Now, many of my followers told me, oh, you should use the red plug, but I didn't feel like, you know, hogging too much electricity, and I knew I was going to visit a supercharger the next day anyway, so I used a Schuko. And you see that during the night, I managed to charge up 95 kilometers. That's nice, yes, pretty nice. Of course, if I had the red adapter, use the red plug, then I would go all the way to full, but you see, I'm not too far from full anyway, so Schuko is good enough. And then a couple of days later, we arrived in where is this again? Oh, Brussels, yes, and Grand Place. And there's this Hotel Amigo, freaking expensive hotel, but they have this service. I used it before, so I tried to use it again, and yes, they are happy to give me the service. So we were not guests at that hotel, but they offer valet service, where they can drive and park and charge the car for you for 10 euros. So 10 euros is a freaking bargain. They were the one who set the price. So I'm more than happy to do that, because we stayed this hotel is located just walking distance. Like, you walk 2 minutes to Grand Place, and then you can, you know, do sightseeing, eat or whatever. So it's a bargain, and this is something they have this option for customers. So it's not like I had to persuade them into taking my car and charge or whatever. So, but again, you know, how long will they offer this great feature? I mean, this, you know, this option for customers, we don't know, because as of back then, Model S, X, visiting there might not be that high, but eventually, if everyone wants to come there, then they have to put some restrictions. And then after that one, we went to Bruges, and one of my followers has this Hotel Heritage, and that one is also in walking distance from the marketplace in Bruges. So he offered me to go and charge there at his destination charger, and they are the first one. There are several destination chargers now in Bruges, but Hotel Heritage was the first one to get a destination charger. So same thing here. It's just valet service. The hotel owner, he was the one who drove away the car for me and plug it in and charge it up. So I was like, oh wow, great. So great service. But again, you know, this is something, I mean, he's one of my followers, so I'm not sure if one of you guys would come there, and if you know, they would give you the same service. But at least they want to try to promote this, that they have destination charger and you can come here and stay at the hotel and, you know, have fun in the city. Yeah. So several days later we arrived in Paris, and we went to see Versailles. Yeah, Versailles. Unfortunately, we didn't go in there because we brought a dog, and dogs are not allowed in Versailles Castle. Oh well, whatever. But we tried to charge there. So they have 2 public charging stations there, and before it was just Schuko, but now they they upgraded it to something New Motion or whatever. But unfortunately, I downloaded the New Motion app. I did lots of stuff, but it seems like just that day the power was out, so it didn't light up green or whatever. So that was unfortunate. I was like wasting my time there trying to figure out things, and I call the New Motion support phone, and they couldn't help me. So that was a bit disappointment. So on the way back, we visited the supercharger in Paris. Of course, it's easy solution, but that means we had to waste time going to the supercharger to juice up there, and there was not much to do there. It's behind a Novotel hotel. Yeah. But at least it's the way out, it's like last resort. And a couple of days later, we stayed in Paris for a few days, and we went to this garden, and then I parked my car, and then I paid for the parking, and I noticed that, and I realized that everywhere in Paris, when you park, you can pay with this machine, and all the machines at least in Paris, they accept Visa card. So if you want to park somewhere, it accepts Visa card. So why can't charging stations also do that? Like the one I met in Hamburg, why can't that one also accept Visa card? I would be more than happy to swipe my card instead of fiddling with an app, and I don't know, you have to order RFID or something. I don't know, it's a big mess. Yeah. Again, later we went to Italy via Switzerland. And we also had to visit a supercharger in Switzerland. And, after a few bad experiences, I started charging more than I needed to, just in case. Yeah, because, if you have to consider, okay, if we stay here, let's say 20 minutes extra, we might not have to fiddle around the city trying to find a slow charger or something. So it turned that way, But later we went to Milano, to this beautiful I don't remember the name, but this is a really beautiful church. Sorry for that. I'm gonna get bashed a lot now, but it's not too important. The important thing is that we park on a parking garage really close to that place. And after a while, when we were about to leave, I saw that they had destination charges. So that was the first time I've seen destination charges that is not located outside of hotels, expensive hotels, because until now the destination charges we have seen was at like 4 or 5 star hotel, and most people, okay, I guess, you could say that, well, if you can afford a Tesla, you can at least afford to stay at 4 and 5 star hotels. Well, it's gonna be freaking expensive to stay at those expensive hotels with 5 people plus a dog. Yeah, go figure. But at least, they had destination charger in that parking garage, and that was like great. Then that means if I knew about it, I could have plugged it in there, and we could stay there a couple hours and get some juice and get some sightseeing done. So it's really nice. Yeah. And then the next day we came to Forte del Marmi, which is in southern Italy. Not southern. It's in Italy. And really nice there, and I wanted to check out this other destination charger. It was a fairly new one. It's at the Hotel Hotel HB Byron. Again, another freaking expensive hotel, 5 star. So they recently installed that destination charger. So I again, same story. I asked the staff, okay, could I use the destination charger? I will pay for the electricity and for parking. Because I'm not a customer there. And she was like, oh, well, yeah, okay. So we went in there, and I found the destination charger. Nice. But there was a problem. It was blocked again by a Porsche. So I'm starting to see this trend where hotels, they let Porsche owners block the destination chargers. So I told them, well, we're just gonna have lunch nearby here, and can we just park here for I don't know, an hour or two or something? And the lady wasn't too sure about that because I could just plug in. So we plug it in, and I said, no, here, I can leave the key here, and in case you need to move the car, you can just move it. Yeah. But they didn't feel like doing it. I don't know if it was like they didn't want to take the responsibility for the car or something. And they said, well, you can charge here for like 15 minutes or half an hour. So I was like, what? Then there's no point. And she also mentioned that there's a supercharger nearby, which is true. Well, I visited the supercharger several times. But the whole point, like I mentioned earlier, is that I wanted to slow charge while I was busy anyway. Yeah, so we ended up just unplugging and going, just park somewhere else, and we didn't charge. So that was a little bit disappointment. And then several days later, we went to Prague, and again there was a shopping mall with a Chademo and Type 2 charger. I tried the Chademo again, fiddle around. You need some kind of app or RFID. So I gave up, but fortunately the Type 2 one, it was 22 kilowatt, was available. So I plug it in and I slow charge while we were just messing around at the shopping mall. And I posted on Facebook, and one of my followers who lives there, he came over and he started the Chademo for me. So that was really great. But again, this shows that you have to have these RFIDs, or you have to have this app or whatever to charge on whatever fast charger is in each country. And towards the end of the trip, we went to Berlin, met a bunch of people, nice people, and in the evening we stayed at an hotel, and I looked at the map and I saw that there's a slow charger nearby here. So I went to that charging station. It's BE Mobile something, and it seems like you have to go on you have to find an app, or maybe the new motion work or something. So I fiddled around with this. I asked my friend, and I couldn't figure out. So I just parked somewhere else. Yeah. And then the last sightseeing place was in Lubeck. We stayed just in a regular. At that point, I gave up trying to find public charging stations. So I just parked at a regular parking garage. And we had some lunch, and we messed around there for a bit. And then towards the end, I thought, okay, let's give it a try. So I located one of these fast charging stations. It's Type 2, and it seems to deliver like 22 kilowatt, which is pretty good. I don't remember it was 22 or 11, but it's pretty fast, and it was actually free. I don't remember how I enable it now, but I was able to start and stop it fairly easy. So that was good, and it seems like in Lubeck there were almost no EVs, so lots of people were staring at us like, what, electro auto, oh, scheiße. No, I didn't say that, but yeah. So that was the trip, Europe trip with the whole family. And back in the old days when I went with wifey, when there were like almost no superchargers, and especially that was before the destination charger time in 2015. Then we were just two people, and we could stay longer at one location. Sometimes we stayed like 3-4 hours slow charging, but with a whole family, you don't want to keep everyone waiting, and the dog is there and everything. So to try to wrap up now the experience with destination charger is that we try to use other networks. It's the same story everywhere. That you need RFID, you need an app or something or whatever, and sometimes whatever they have there, it's in a different language, and they don't have English there, so I can't figure out everything. So it's like a 50% chance for me to successfully figure it out and start charging or pay for it or whatever or not. So it would be much easier if there could just be a paying terminal. That's it. Visa card, pay, take my money, just start charging. And the destination charger, it's much better because it's just open. You plug it in and it starts charging. So much easier to do the when you are a foreigner in the country. The whole you know, I had to mention that I used Fortum chargers a lot in Norway, and for me, because I live here, then it's easy for me to do it. But if there was a guy from Spain who would mess around with the Fortum chip or whatever, try to use SMS, you know, he will also be frustrated. So I would say that the charging network in each country works best for people who live there, but the destination chargers, they work for everyone. Yeah, technically they work for everyone because you just plug it in, but there are some other challenges. And the one challenge is that so far Tesla seems to prioritize really expensive hotels and try to, you know, and those hotels will also try to make these available for guests only. But again, like I mentioned with the Hotel Amigo in Brussels, is that they allow other people to also charge it. But what they should do, Tesla, what they start doing it now, slowly, is they should offer these destination chargers on shopping malls or other public parkings. It could be, I mean, it should be on places where you have to pay to park there, because if it's completely free, then local people might plug it in there and abuse it. But either way, if it's on a public parking or at the hotel, the hotel staff should prevent other cars, fossil cars, from blocking it. We already saw, you know, I saw two cases here where freaking Porsche, sorry, I mean, no offense to Porsche owners, okay? Please stay with my channel, don't leave me. But Porsche owners just parked there, and they didn't care, they didn't know maybe, and also the hotel staff seems to not care, or maybe don't know. They should have labeled that spot better, you know, say 9 parking here, you know, or something, I don't know, just no parking, towaway zone or something. Yeah. Because eventually there will be more and more Teslas out there, and they will want to use the destination chargers, especially when Model 3 comes out. So they have to do something. Yeah. As it is today, the whole concept with destination charger is great, but I think it's not maintained. It's not managed the best way. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But overall, I think the destination charger has a great, it has a great potential, and also, like I mentioned, you know, lots of pros and also some cons, but it has its use. Yeah. So I think that's it for now. I hope this was useful for you. It's a freaking long video. Sorry for that. A very long video about this topic, but I needed to get it out. Yeah. All right. So again, that's it for now. So talk to you guys later.